So today we are talking about chapter 6, and chapter 6 is, well, in this chapter we are going to answer some questions, and these questions are about your questions, because who hasn't questioned himself about purpose? And well, here we are going to talk about a speech purpose. Now, the thing is, before you make your speech, you have to find a purpose for that speech. And we have many, well, we don't have that many, we have actually three. And these three types of purposes are the following. We have speeches to inform, and these kind of speeches are actually really interesting because speeches to inform are necessary for people to understand something in a specific, like to give information and to make them know about the specific topics. For example, you can show them charts or documents like this one that I have here. Then we also have speeches that are designed to entertain or to make fun, like these kind of speeches are more like, you know, these things called stand-ups. Now those are great speeches about entertaining, really great actually, but some of them use different kinds of vocabulary that, well, it's not for everyone. And for last, we have speeches to persuade, and with these ones, the thing is that speeches to persuade are designed to make people think what you're thinking or what you want them to think. Because that's, for example, let's say for example politicians, all their speeches they are specific to persuade, because they told you that they're going to do something and you vote for them because you believe that they're going to do something, or maybe you just vote for someone because it's better than the other option. That's what I'm going to do actually. But that's the main thing. Those are the three purposes. And we also have to select a topic, and we have already discussed this. We have to have, we need to have to take in mind the constraints, and the constraints are something that are going to make it like harder for us to select that topic or select the topic or the purpose of our speech. And the thing is, one of the purposes, one of the constraints actually is the purpose. Ironic, isn't it? We're going to have problems finding our purpose, but don't let that stop you. We are going to find a way out of it. Also, you have to take in mind your audience, because as we discussed earlier in the year, we have a lot of different audiences and they think very differently, really differently. So you have to take a note of the public that you're going to have, because you're not going to make something that like offensive or boring for certain audiences. We also have to understand the context of our presentation and the time frame, because how much time we're going to spend in our speech and how much time or at what time the speech is going to be given. Because if we are going to make a speech about, I don't know, making breakfast or why breakfast is good, and we give our audience like nutrition bars for breakfast, that's great if you make it like at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. in some cases. But I don't think it's a good idea if you gave your audience something to eat in breakfast at 4 p.m. So that's another thing. Moving on. What if you draw blank, or what if you get confused? Well, for selecting purposes, as we discussed, we have to we can actually make a personal inventory for questions, and with that questions we can select our topic, because answering some questions about ourselves can, even it's hard to believe, but those questions can actually bring many topics. Because if you say, well, my major is fulano of merequetengue, and you say, he comes from that place, so I can make a presentation about that place and why people should go there. But if you're working in some enterprise, well, that's another thing. Also, you can use finding aids, and finding aids are really useful. You can use it to make a presentation about something that is trending on that moment. For example, you can make presentation about trending books, or trending things like, I don't know, this hard drive. It's a bestseller across the world. People buy it because you can detach this, and it has a really nice case. Those things are finding aids. Finding aids are actually you can find your finding aids on internet, and that's another tool. But not all the information is really useful on the internet, because some of it can be fake. For example, Wikipedia is a great idea, believe me, but you should move it apart, because all the information there can be edited by everyone. Also, you can use your media outlets like radio or TV to see what's trending. But let's get serious right now. After you make all these things, you need to get specific. Because if you select your topic, like why cereal, like cereal, that's my topic. But if I wanted to inform, like to make a speech to inform about cereal, I'm going to tell my audience something like, well, cereal is something very nutritious, because here the box says, información nutricional. Oh, it's in Spanish. That's unexpected. That's another example if you're going to make it to entertain. Because if you're going to make it entertain, it's like, guys, I bought this cereal because it had a bee on it. Well, I thought that bees made honey, and this doesn't taste like honey. And it's in Spanish. I don't talk Spanish. Well, I'm not funny enough, but you get the idea. And if you wanted to persuade, you can tell people like, buy Cheerios today, because we are going to give you a wallet we are going to give a wallet for the first 100 persons that are going to buy it. That thing sells, because you're going to persuade your audience, because you're giving it something else, and you sound convincing. So also you can use make charts about your speech, about what you're going to do, or make tips, or you can actually use tips about your purposes, and think about your audience in everything, because if you don't have an audience, you don't have a speech, and if you don't have a speech, you don't have well, I think you have a purpose, but you get the idea. Also, make some questions about what's going to happen on the presentation. That's going to help you a lot. So thank you for your attention.